Hi, good evening. Welcome to the IBD Ostomy support show this evening. My name's Louise. Sorry, I'm just re-shifting myself into the chair and the seat. So, what are we discussing this evening? This evening we're discussing how to order stoma samples, hashtag Bagroulette, and hashtag Everythingstomas for July. Steffi has the baby this evening. Yay! So it's going to be cute.
So I apologise for your cries.
So we go, puppies. What else are we doing? Oh, Natalie's not joining us this week. Natalie's on holiday. Rachel is off next week. But we have Steve. When it stops playing silly buggers with him, he will eventually be signed in on, hopefully, fingers crossed. I've just resent the link. So what have I been up to this week? I've been slightly busy. My mum come back off holiday today, and I've missed my mum for 10 days, so I went and got big cuddles with my mum. Yes, and that might be nearly 32, but we all enjoy a good cuddle off of mum, especially when you've had a shit weekend. Blog posts. So there's blog posts going up this week from everybody with regards to urostomy samples, how to order them, how to apply them, and whether they're any good. And that's what Rachel's covering for the next month. Steffi's been posted today, and I've sent them out to Nat as well. So hopefully you guys should receive them tomorrow, along with some other presents for Steffi. Yeah, that's about it. So apparently we're being very brave. The feedback off of my blog is that we're being very brave for testing out the bags for 3 weeks. So I will pass you over to Steffi, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to get Steve to sign in.
Hi, I'm Steffi Cartmail. I obviously have baby Jacob with me tonight. Is downstairs with Lyra Beth. Decided only now that she wanted some tea. So I said I'd have him. So I apologise if he's crying. This week, because he's trying to pump, just, something that I can't do anymore, so I'm a bit jealous. But hey ho. I've spent my entire week trying to sorting out all my old posts from my new one, and just completely overhauling it, and I want to kill myself with it because it's so randomly boring. Hence I was messaging Louise's partner last night because it's what he does for a living. And other than that,
and then he belly rang you.
Yeah, and then he rang me via his belly. My parents came to see me this week. Dinner. That's about it. I've not done anything else really. So Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm rocking 2 stomas. So I've had a really busy week. It's been like I've had like highs and lows. Like I've been I've been overdoing it, and I think I've been crying quite a bit and a bit emotional. But it's the campaign itself, the Ostomy campaign that I've been doing it's been doing amazing, and I'm getting quite a lot of coverage now. And I just sort of, I'm grateful for everybody that's helped out with it, and it's amazing. But I do need to rest, and I've decided like I'm going to have a week, going to go back home next week, and then I'm going to rest and go back to Wales and just kind of chill out for a bit. But I've had some amazing news. The campaign now, we've got the Ostomy Association back in, and they've also, although I need to be voted in, like, I may be part of the PR team, so to help with the pushing the campaign. So that in itself, like, I'm just honoured, and it'll help what I'm doing. So at the moment, I think I've been thinking a lot about kind of not having as long as everybody else and having an urge to get everything done soon. And I've been talking to somebody else about it recently, which has helped, because it's kind of, I do just need to rest, and I can't do it all. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to sort of slow down, reevaluate things in my life, and then take a breather, and then come back fighting. So that's me.
You're on an
Wasn't that the whole point of
next week?
Sorry?
Wasn't that the whole point of June? You're not doing too much. You're taking time out, and then all you did was do everything.
No, I did for the first 2-3 weeks. I did, and then when that's true. For the second, third week, I did. But I did do this stuff. I think it's like I think because it's the passion and wanting to get something done, and then when it's just you, it's hard when it's one person. But now I've got other people and the association now, it won't just be me, so it'll be a bit easier. So I'm hoping that will just lift the pressure. But I'm so sad that the My Ostomy Love are going to finish. I've really enjoyed them. I'm really gutted.
Well, today was Move It, Move It, Move It. I will be having one going up later on today. Won't be of me moving it, it'll be of Maisie running the relay.
Oh.
Well, technically I was moving my phone with my hand as she was going past.
Oh,
but
technically, well, my pictures, the pram and Rara, because the only thing I did was this, so.
Because maybe the last one that everybody wants to take part in tomorrow, for those who are watching that may not have partaken in the Ostomy Love, it is reach out to someone tomorrow, isn't it? That's the last one for tomorrow, for the 30th.
Yeah, it's probably one of the more important ones as well.
Yeah.
It is more one of the important ones, especially when we have our low moments, and there are other people that do have low moments. So it would be good to reach out to those people if you haven't spoken to them for a while. So I'll just text my brother. I haven't spoken to him all week. I'll just text him and ask him if he's okay. Or my dad. But I don't know. So how has everybody been feeling with regards to the Ostomy Love coming to an end?
I'm a bit sad because I know, although I know I've been busy, but I have tried to take time and to actually not just partake them, but actually feel them. And I think I will miss it because I don't use Instagram. I'm not very good on Instagram. I don't use it as much as the others. And I think I noticed it's really helped me get involved in Instagram more. So I think I'll miss it from that respect. So it was nice just connecting with you guys, like knowing that every day we did something similar. It was kind of nice. I really enjoyed it. And I'm quite sad it's gonna come to an end, but it's good. Some of the stuff in there, like I'm gonna like kind of practice anyway, try to practice anyway, because some things really did help.
No, that's good.
Found that I was trying to put it on too many social media platforms, like my Facebook page and my Twitter and my Instagram. And the only one I consistently did was my Instagram. It's now public. Still not sure about it being public, but it's now public. But I'm looking forward to not having to message the girls constantly going, come on, you need to pick your activities for the week.
I think July is going to be a bit easier. Okay, it might not be easy if any of us have a reaction to the bags, but it will be easier in the concept that we only have to do one blog post a week and not theoretically blog every day.
And it's also, I think, like Steffi, like we owe a thank you to you, because it was quite a lot of work, like to write a blog post each week and to work it out, so thank you for doing that, because it was quite a lot of work. I could see it.
It was a lot of work that you had to do.
Yeah, it was.
Especially whoever was the last one on that hadn't picked what we'd cherry picked out. Because I was always the first one to pick. I was on that like there was no tomorrow.
I was the last every week. I made a point of letting you guys pick what you wanted, and then I'd pick what was left. So
the only one I couldn't carry out would have been the compliment a stranger. The town that I live in, the sort of people that parade about, I could imagine if I'd have complimented a stranger, I would have got punched. So I didn't compliment a stranger. I think I complimented somebody on Instagram, which is technically a stranger, but not a stranger if I follow them. So I didn't think that'd really count. So
I cheated. I did Mum, because Mum's come down for the weekend because she helped me with Molly, which I couldn't have done it without her, and I'd been quite tired. And I complimented Mum because Molly went to a school trip, and I thought I'm not going to compliment a parent that they were looking and wondering who I was anyway. So I thought I'll do it to Mum, and then I'll do it another time.
I left the house once this week, so.
You didn't compliment the stranger either. It's not just me.
Let's hope Natalie did it.
I don't know if Nat did though, but because Nat's on holiday, isn't she? She's been off of she's been out of radio contact. There would be plenty of strangers. That's a very good point. So Right, so how do you girls feel about what's being rolled out across the entire of the next month?
I'm quite looking forward to it.
Why are you mad?
Well, to be fair, I actually got a message from someone this morning saying that they got in touch with a bad company. I'm not going to say the name of the bad company or the person, but and that they got turned down for doing the review, and like we're not kind of like, but obviously technically we're allowed, we can do and say what we like, but we're not. And this person was doing a positive review as well. This person uses the bags and loves the bags that she was going to review, but I think we're not doing it as a review. We're letting people know what else is out there, and if something doesn't work for them, and then they find out someone else has the same issue, they don't feel so alone. Maybe, you know.
I think that
it's going to be. Good Lord, man! Shut up.
No, I think the general consensus is for the bags, because I know when I did the review for Pelican, in all honesty, they did say they'd take into consideration the cons of the bag, which weren't many, but there was one or two. I don't know, it's difficult because I think across the groups, and I know we've seen it a lot, ordering samples isn't something that is made readily available, is it?
No, yeah, I was actually surprised how sort of, it wasn't complicated because it wasn't, but there wasn't an easy button. I think I know Secure Care had a sort of subheading, but the others I had to like kind of hunt for them, or you have to go through the products, look at the products, and then request through the products. And some you had to actually write the product in, so it was different. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Hi, Steve.
I have no idea how that happened. I'm struggling every week. It's becoming a nightmare. I'm just going to leave it on live. You know.
I promise you, next week I'm going to add you to the chat that we have.
Yes.
And you're going to go through that one and not through the one that we have been sending you, because you've been having issues, man.
I'll tell you what, I can never find the same screen. So, of course, next week I'll be exactly the same. I'll be struggling to know where I'm supposed to go next.
Well, anyway, hi, Steve. How's your week been?
It's been. I haven't been very well this week, to be fair.
I know, I saw. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better now, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've been drinking enough liquid. Been quite dehydrated. My stoma's been hurting. Well, not so much my stoma. My hernia has been hurting quite a bit. I think I'm just coming down with something, to be fair. But of course, it's knocked me about a bit this week. I've just been tired all the time. You know what I mean?
Bless you. It's funny you say about the hernia, because I might talk to you after the show actually and get you to message the person that I was speaking to earlier on today. But somebody's been messaging me and they've been having a lot of stick with their hernia at the moment, and their surgeon won't consider repairing it unless it's starting to cause major issues such as a blockage or something, and it's getting them a bit down at the moment, would be the correct word, but with a lot of cussing.
Well, apart from this week, it's been okay. I mean, it's more about the finances at the moment. I can't really afford to be off work, you know. The flat's still got to be paid for, you know what I mean?
No,
I think he'll keep until go on, sorry.
No, you.
That's it, really. Anyway, I'm glad to be on. I thought I'm just gonna have to give up and watch it.
Okay.
You know, not again.
I'm glad you didn't.
Oh,
I'm glad you came.
I'll tell you what. It's a nightmare.
How did you get on
with things like this?
Oh, you're not that bad.
How did I get on with what? Sorry.
How did you get on with the hernia support belt that Val sent you?
Oh, you know what? It's brilliant.
It's
really good. I mean,
good.
I wore it all today. It kind of flattens up, you know, because my main issue is the sort of lump. But because it's going behind the, it's kind of raising the skin up to the stoma, if you know what I mean.
So does it feel like it's dragging less? Yeah,
it does. Yeah, and I look down and it's just my fat belly I can see now, rather than just a big lump on the right. Oh, bless.
Not shushing you.
Yeah, Steve, as you was joining in, we was waiting for you more than anything, but we were starting with the whole, we're running out for the whole of July with the hashtag Bagroulette and the Everythingstomas.
Yeah.
You find, because obviously what we're doing this week is how to go through ordering samples, and obviously each of us have been doing things and putting it up onto the page on how to do that. But
Yeah.
was you readily aware prior to your stoma nurse or anything else, even before now, that when you could order samples and how you could do that?
Not really, no. They didn't give me any information about stuff like that. I've just literally, if I've seen someone that's offering, like if I've seen Coloplast that are offering something, I'll grab it just because it's a freebie and give it a try, because you never know, do you?
No, because this is half the reason why we're running it back, because we've seen it across the group so many times with regards to people are having leaks, or they're having allergies to the bags, or they're not getting on with the bag, or they don't like it and everything else. It's not made readily available, is it? Other than, apart from see your stoma nurse, that you can actually go online and order these samples.
Yeah.
It's not made available, and you can even request from your delivery company. You can say I'm with Bullens. I can ring Bullens up and I can say, I've seen this bag, like the look of this bag, it's been recommended, can I try it? 9 times out of 10, even with my skin issues, they know what it's about. They will send that bag out to me as a sample if they know it's not going to affect me, and if I get on with the bag and I like it, they'll have it put on prescription for me. They don't contact my stoma nurse. They go straight to my GP and they have it all dealt with.
It's kind of left to you now, isn't it, really? Like when you're trying, because I tried about 5 or 6 different bags and all of them affected my skin except for the last one. And now obviously I've done a trial with this new bag, which I still can't mention. Obviously I've spoke to you girls. My trial's over now, absolutely fantastic. The bag's brilliant. I can't wait for it to come on the market because it beats my last one. But I've got to wait now because obviously they're still doing trials elsewhere. And so that's the bag I'll go for, specifically for hernias.
Do you know when it's going to come on the market? Or
no, I asked her today. I filled in my final form yesterday. I spoke to the nurse today, and she says she hasn't a clue.
Okay.
She says just keep an eye online. So it's a bit of, she says don't contact the company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I might do that because I'm a lawbreaker.
You're a bit of a rebel, Steve.
By the way, this certain thingy. Well, I've been trying that certain thingy, and I would like to have that certain thingy now. But I mean,
I could send you a couple.
Our stoma nurses every 2 years do a stoma open day, and they have like the stalls and stands and stuff like they do at the Purple Wings event. And that's how I knew you could order stuff online. Sure, take your dummy then. Okay. And they obviously the information you get there, they'd say you can get them online and stuff. And I've got a post coming up tomorrow on ordering samples, and mine's not nearly as comprehensive as Rachel's or as good, but I wasn't going to try and make it Rachel's because I'd seen it beforehand, so I tried to make it different. Crap, but who cares?
Yeah, have you seen how crap my one is? That's a diary entry, wasn't it, if I remember rightly?
Yeah. But
I mean, how have you been getting on with your skin now, since now most of the pregnancy hormones are leaving the body?
Well, I can wear the Mio again.
That's good.
At all through pregnancy. The Welland bag I still leaked with, which was a bit annoying. Got a longer wear out of it with no bump. But it's just, I seem to stick to Danzac and Mio, so it'd be nice to see what else is out there. I mean, I've just samples of 2 pieces for the different sensory Mios that are out on the market, and I'm waiting for them to arrive. Nobody's rang me yet, so obviously I must be okay to have them. And actually of using a two-piece. I've never used a two-piece before. I'm worried that it's not going to work. It's going to break. It's going to come loose.
I'd be worried about the clip coming off the front, because if it's ever going to happen to anyone, it would be me.
Before my prolapse, I had the two-piece, and I swore by it. I used Coloplast. I can't remember it was before the Sensura range, and I used a two-piece, and I loved it. But then when I had the prolapse, I can't use them. But it was amazing. Because I liked it because you could use the belts as well. And before I had my urostomy, I used a belt. I loved it.
And
So what's the whole idea of the two-piece? I mean, I know what they do, but what's the reason behind it, having a two over
so
a what?
You can keep the base plate on longer, which saves your skin a bit longer.
And I think it's more cost effective as well.
Right. So when you say longer, do you mean like, I mean, because the last bags I've been using...
You change the pouch rather than the entire thing.
Right. So say every three to 4 days, you change the pouch, but you'd leave the valve or such on.
The flange up. Yeah.
It doesn't perish.
I can't use that word. I can't. Yeah.
It doesn't perish.
I did it on purpose.
So what makes that more less likely to perish than a normal, flange?
I think it's because I think there's a different system with regards to the base plate and how it goes on. The one piece is obviously made for quickness and for less faffing about, and with the other ones, I think is it with the base on the two piece. There's a lot more that you can do with it than what you can on a flat.
Well, I've got one of the ones that mold to your body, and a click one. I think they're two separate ones. I'm going to see what they're like. But I figured while I'm not doing anything and I'm predominantly at home, I'm not that worried because I'm at home.
The only time I was ever given a two-piece was when I was in Malta, but I had fistulas then. I didn't have a stoma, so... But they gave me a two-piece is what I had, so...
I got a few. I got about 3 two-piece different ones. Them were from open days, like you said, and you're just grabbing the pens, the shopping trolley tokens, the two-piece bags, just a bit of everything. You think, oh, I'll try some of them diamonds that thicken your output.
If it's
never
free,
use them.
If it's free, it's getting in my pocket.
I had some. The last one that I did the vanilla blush selling the pants. A lady had some. Spray to take the bags off, adhesive remover, and there was like a blackcurrant flavour and an apple, and the blackcurrant was so nice.
Really?
Just the smell. I've just been using it as an air freshener. Fantastic.
Oh, Steve, you're so funny.
I know.
I walked in the room and I thought, who's eating them sweets? Who's eating them tunes?
I was going to say you've been spraying it in your mouth or something.
No, I tried it around my bag, and my next bag wouldn't stick. But the smell of it was absolutely gorgeous.
Do you know what? It's quite interesting you mentioned it, because a lot of me, like I don't remember stuff, and like I've only just because tomorrow I'll be 5 years. I would have had Bob for 5 years at ileostomy, and I remember when I first had it, I went to an open day like a week or 2 weeks. I went back home with my parents and in Cardiff, and I just remember then I think it was amazing because I didn't research into it beforehand, I don't think, because it wasn't an emergency, but I only knew 2 weeks before, so I didn't really research, and it was thinking back, it was really helpful. I remember they did a presentation and I was tearful in the presentation, and I can't remember details, but it was at the time I really needed it, and it was just it was really helpful, and I totally forgot about that. I can't remember. I can't remember what exact open date it was, but I know there were different types of products there available, free pens, but it was good for me. It was good to speak to other people.
Can I just point out to anyone that's going to the Purple Wings, if Hollister's there and Hollister have the lip balms, get it. The lip balm. Their lip balm is amazing.
Really? I didn't know they did lip balms.
They just randomly had some lip balms with their name on it, and I was like, I will have that. And it's amazing. It's so good.
Right, stoma samples. Right, so when you first come out of hospital, you're under your stoma nurse for at least the first 12 weeks of discharge.
Yeah.
So when can you order the samples from the company? Do you guys know?
No.
As long as it's not, I was told by Coloplast, I believe, because I needed a convex and I was within my first 12 weeks. They were not prepared to give me a convex sample. Differently for flat bags, but you definitely can't get convex in the first 12 weeks unless it's from prescription from your stoma nurse. Or at least that's the way it worked for me.
I was suggest my stoma nurse kind of suggested that it's better if you give it at least 3 months with the bag, which is kind of the same as your 12 weeks, like 3 months with your bag, and then try the samples, because you need to adapt. And I think trying it straight away can, you know, if bags don't work, but I think your body's changing. Your stomach, you'll be bloated from the surgery, from where they used to win. You've got your scar, your body, your tummy's changing shape. So I think it takes time for that to settle down until you can then try different bags. But stomas are different.
Just sticking something on your tummy.
Different stoma nurses are different. Sorry, Steve.
Just sticking something on your tummy when you've had nothing stuck on your tummy, you know, it can cause effects. Even putting plasters on, can't they? So some different plasters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your skin's not used to having anything stuck to it before you have your stoma, is it?
No.
No.
So, I mean, it took me a while to get the one that was right, and all the others didn't. Some made me sore, just some made me rash and not sore. But, you know, it looked awful. I don't grow hair there anymore.
Don't you?
My skin has learned not to grow hair there anymore. I used to shave originally, but now it's pointless because there's none there.
Wow.
It's got evolution, that is.
Evolution. It's like having a half body wax every time you take a bag off.
Yeah, that's it. See, if you live in water, you will grow fins.
Yeah, you will find, I know this through experience and through research, and after I had my issues with my stoma back in December and January, the majority of actual stoma supply companies will not allow you to order samples until you are over 12 weeks post-op. The only way that you can get a different type of bag within that period of time frame, especially more so if you're having leaks and skin issues or allergies to the adhesives and stuff, is for your stoma nurse.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I forgot to say that. Yeah,
most of your stoma nurses will run a clinic twice a week. I know mine's on a Tuesday and Thursday. So you need to, if you're having issues with your skin, you need to ring your stoma nurse, especially if you're that early on post-op. You need to ring your stoma nurse. You need to go and see them because they are the only ones that can recommend or change a bag. And what they'll do is, we're saying obviously don't order the samples until the 12-week mark. But what your stoma nurses will do is they will give you 2 or 3 different sample sets that they have in the hospital. They normally tend to be the same backed bag, but they tend to be of different sizes or different base plate sizes is what they give you. The material's the same, but the base plates are different.
Louise, that's a really good point. That's a really good point, because I forgot to say that. Like when I first had my ileostomy, I had loads of leaks. I had problems with leaks, but I went to my stoma nurse and I had the skin is separated as well, like 7 years of separation. And I had problems with that at the beginning. And because I went back to my stoma nurse, if I had just requested it myself, then they wouldn't have helped me with that. And I think that's a really good point. I think it's like you have to involve the stoma nurses, because at the end of the day, they are the experts. You know, they deal with, you know, we have it, but they are experts. They sort of know the products and they're seeing you every day.
Sometimes they can tell you a trick that could just make something an entire difference. Like some people do the crusting method, which doesn't work for me anymore, but like, and I wouldn't have known about that if my stoma nurses hadn't told me. Some people put way too much powder on. You know, my stoma nurse was very adamant that you only put a little bit on. And I have had bags fall off from not listening to her. So, you know, they can tell you all sorts of things, that it doesn't need to be a case of a new sample or a new product. It can just be a tip or a trick.
I think we can teach them a lot, you know, because we're living with it. And we are we're speaking to people every day about different. Yeah, people will advise, and yes, of course, we shouldn't be giving about medical advice, but we can say what we've tried and what works for us, and only really we know if it works properly. You know what I mean?
No, I understand that.
That's what my stomatist has told me, that both of them, they were like, you know, a lot of the tips and tricks that they tell people, they're like, they'd have never thought of it if somebody else hadn't mentioned it, because they don't live with it.
It's a constant learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a constant learning curve, because it's, I don't know, it's a thing, because I think the amount of people that have still using the same bag that they got sent home from hospital with years into after having their stoma is probably unreal, and they've been going through leaks, skin allergies, but they've just made do with the bag and stuck with it because they haven't been given any other option, or they don't know of any other option.
That's not always the case, though. We've got somebody that actually uses a rubber bag still. Bag that they wash out.
A young person, or?
No. But they've been offered all sorts of different products, and they're desperately trying to get him or her to change it, and it's like, they're like, no, I'm good. And I'm the first group we had, I met loads of people that sat there and said that they used to use the bags that don't have the clips, which so it's just mad. They're like, oh, we don't like the Velcro, we prefer the clips, which you fold it up and it's like a hair grip or something.
I hate those ones. They're post-op ones. I hate those bags. Whenever I had the refashion on my surgery last year, all those surgeries, they always put them on, and I would just go mad because they're just a nightmare. I just get shit everywhere.
Those clips are still on the Oak Med bags. They still have those clips.
I've only ever seen one.
And
I've only ever seen one. I've never seen it in real life.
Yeah, it's like this thing. It's like a double-ended thing that you pull out. It's like a plastic clip, and it's got like an open bit, and then it's got like a valve bit that you clip in. But you then stick that onto the bottom of the bag. But the way that the bag works, the clip's not stuck to the bag. The clip's reusable, so you have to roll the bag up on the flat bit that's got like the little thing in it. You have to roll it up, and then you have to
like opening corned beef.
Yeah, a little bit like that, you can say. But you have to try and squeeze it all into that little gap that's got the hole in it and push it up. And then you've got to make sure, and I have done this when I've been drinking, I have worn those bags out with the plastic clip, and I have broke the clip.
Oh, no.
It's the hinge is
God.
What a faff about.
Like, did I put a spare one in my bag?
No way. That's a pain in the ass. Double-sided tape then, isn't it?
Yeah, even that don't work.
Wow.
I just never got on with them. I just found that they were one of my biggest bugbearers was they would put it on after surgery, and it would just be a nightmare because I just didn't like them. You know, some people do and some people prefer them, but for me,
you don't have the control on the bottom of the bag, do you, to control the clip? Literally, that clip comes off and it just goes.
Yeah, and you can't clean it properly either because it's like, oh, it was just faffy. And when you've just come around, like what, in a year and a half, I did 8 surgeries for the refashion, and when you come around, you're drowsy, you're not together. So when you're emptying the bag, trying to then get the coordination to fold it up, put the clip on, is just not happening. And many times I just ended up with it all over me because you're not all together, are you, after surgery? So it's I don't like those bags.
I mean, there's somebody on the chat at the moment saying that they're only 5 weeks post-op and they've ordered samples from everywhere, but exactly the same. You can't have the convex without asking the stoma nurse, which we know you can only have convex if they've given you convex after the surgery, or flat if they've given you the flat. The only way that you can get changed vice versa is to go and see your stoma nurse clinician.
And you have to be careful with convex. It's like I think because I live with a prolapse, I'm kind of sort of tell people, and I don't know exactly why I have a prolapse. I don't know whether I did too much post-surgery. I'm not sure. But I think when you have a convex, it can, if you don't need it and your stoma isn't retracted, then it can cause your prolapse to go out. Not all the time, but sometimes it can. And like, ironically, I wear a convex with my prolapse because it's the only thing I can stick on. But my stoma nurse as aware of it and told me to use that. But I think they can make your stoma go bigger, and I put that in my blog post as a positive, because I think it's good that they won't give you a convex and you have to go through your stomas, because they can cause problems as well. I know it's a bit of a faff going through your stomas to get a sample, but I think it is important.
I think, to be honest, I have tried once or twice since having the surgery, after post-op, tried going back to flat bags, and it just doesn't work for me. I don't know whether it's because I've got a dent on one side and not on the other, but the minute I lay down or I'm on the wrong side and I'm on the side that's got the dent, that's it. It's leaks ahoy. So that's why they've given me convex, because I'm dipped on one side and because I need the support there for the hold down to stop me from having the leaks. So the convex for me is more of a preventative. Don't get me wrong, sometimes they irritate the hell out of me because you can feel it pushing into your skin. I know it sounds really weird.
No, you can.
But you can feel it pushing into your skin, and it's the same as when it's like when you move with the convex as well. If you're wrong on one side but not the other, you feel it. And you're not supposed to, but you do. So I'm not sure whether that's just me being neurotic.
Well, I don't.
Is that also for retracted stomas as well?
Yeah, mine's retracted, not by much.
Oh, is it, Steffi?
But that's why it's quite close. I hate the word flush when in the term of, like, you know, flat against, and Stephen uses it all the time because of his job. But mine is not far from being flush to my skin, which was an absolute pregnant. But the whole reason I got given a convex bag was I rang my stoma nurse up and said, I've had my first leak. I'm really proud of myself. But it keeps leaking, and I got there, and she was like, "Oh, you need a new." I started crying about something else. She was like, "You're really dehydrated." I got stuck up on a ward, given fluids, leaked outside A&E, an X-ray, and I was mortified. Just waiting for a porter to take me back up in a wheelchair, but. And I ended up, because I'd leaked everywhere, I just walked. So I was like, nah. And I just remember crying because I'd leaked in public than leaking at home. Yeah. Convex was to stop the leaks.
By the way, Natalie says hi.
Yeah, she pops
Hi, Natalie.
On one of my
swimming today, isn't she?
Yeah.
No, she's not in.
Yeah.
She's just said say hi.
She looks amazing.
She does. She looks so pretty.
Yeah, she's been swimming how long now since she had her stoma?
More than a year.
14 months.
Brilliant.
Because she got her stoma the same day I did.
Did she?
14
months.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep, 21st of April last year we both got stomas.
Wow, you like stoma like birthday people.
It was our stomaversary together.
That's it. That's the best.
We was getting the stoma buddies. But I don't know. What would you guys advise with regards to? Because in a minute we're going to cover how people got their stomas. Because obviously we're the IBD and Ostomy support show, but we don't just cover everything that's IBD. We also cover other things as well. So with regards to the samples, Steffi, how many samples have you tried in the past?
3. Stanzac Nova Life. Polyplasmia and the Welland B.
Is that 4?
Salts.
Oh, the Nova Life. Yeah. Go on, Stu, sorry.
I'm waiting. Salts, Pelican, Coloplast, and a couple others that I can't think of the names of. But like I said, tried about 5 different ones altogether, and owning this new one, 6. I got to wait for them to come in. I'm a bit gutted that I got to go back to Pelican. They've been really good, but I still have had leaks on them. The ones that I've been trialing for the last month absolutely no chance of ever leaking. I was so confident. The only possible negative would be, you know, the end where you empty. You know, if how can I put it? You know, like, if it's like that, you can squeeze, you can clean, and but one side is longer than the other. So when you squeeze, you're left with a lump on the end. That's the only negative. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost like an envelope. When you open an envelope, you've got a piece that's longer than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I could change anything, that would be, I'd just make them the same length, and that would be it. But stick to you like glue, literally.
I mean, samples I've tried. Hollister, I'm allergic. Dansack, I'm allergic. Pelican, I'm not. However, there is one or two drawbacks on the Pelican bags, which I've already advised the other girls of. I've tried the salts. I really like the salts, but the salts are not good for those who do excessive exercise or sweat like I do, because the base plate was bubbled and just come off. They sent me the Welland out. I tried it, but they sent me a hard convex and not a soft convex. It was too harsh for my skin, and I only kept it on for one day. I couldn't keep it on any more than that. I've tried the Sensora Mio. Now, I love those bags. I got on really well with that bag. But the one thing I didn't like with the Mio is that funny filter thing that they've got on the inside. They've got like a double filter.
Yeah.
And the thing is when you first put the bag on, it's fine. First couple of bag empties, not a problem. But then the filter gunks up, and it's just like you've got a half-deflated balloon on your tummy.
When you lay down, because we had a Coloplast rep come to our last support group meeting, and it's there to help the gas without the smell, because it's the only bag to have like a full circle carbon filter, and it's supposed to provide 80% less ballooning. Not that it works for me, but apparently I just seem hot, so it's probably and eat lots of veg, so it's not my.
I think to a degree it does help with some of the wind issues with the bag, but that filter's just so bulky. If they could make a way of changing that so it just wasn't so there. I'd use that bag all the time, because I use those for when I go swimming and stuff, because the Pelican bags are useless for swimming. Those bags are not waterproof whatsoever. The flat-backed ones with the convex, not so bad. However, the petal-backed, if you're exercising, so if you're into walking, jogging, weightlifting, anything that is extreme exercise, they're fine. They move, they bend, they move with the body. The minute you get in the bath or you have a shower, if even one tiny bit of that petal is compromised, that's it. It's game over. The bag's got to come off. With samples, I think because of my prolapse of my ileostomy, I've tried literally everything, and it changed, because when the surgery would work for a couple of weeks and then it would fail again and then it would come out. I've tried nearly all, but regarding the urostomy, this challenge is good for me, because I've only really stuck to the Sensora Mio. I tried when Convatec one, which just didn't like the bacon. I didn't like, when I went in this time, when I last admission, they put it on because I ran out of my own bags, and it's too thick. It was peeling away and I didn't feel comfortable with it. But what I will say about urostomy bags is we don't have which it kind of makes sense, although we do, for a conduit, you do use a bit of bowel. We don't have as much ear problems as to me. So I don't need to, when I gas the bag, poor Molly always moans, and Lawrence, because it smells, but when I can't be asked to move, and I'll just ear it. But with urostomy, it's not as bulky as the ileostomy, and I think I prefer that. It fills up a lot quicker because it's urine. But I'm not sure. I don't want to say that. I don't think they have filters, but I need to check. But what I will say is, with a urostomy, your urine will smell a lot stronger than normal, and there will be mucus, because when you have the conduit and the piece of bowel,
like mucus still occurs, so you get a lot of mucus and the smell is a bit. I think that was the hardest for me to adjust with, was the smell, because there are these drops, these V9 drops you can add, and I've never tried them. I may do at some point, but I've just kind of accepted that it's the smell, and if I get an infection, that smell will increase, just like a UTI, I guess.
I don't know, people swear by like essential oils and stuff in the bags. Like,
oh really?
If anybody has seen the BBC3 video of my beautiful close friend Jasmine of Jasmine Stacey Collection, totally name dropping there because you know I love her. Her and Lydia, they did a video for Amazing Human series, and
watch
Jasmine
that.
mentioned, well, Facebook took it down after they'd
That the young girl, the young model.
Lydia, she's beautiful. Yeah. She's so cute. She keeps telling me that I'm like her inspiration because I'm a mum, and it's just like I just love you.
That's sweet.
Time being told you're an inspiration isn't patronizing. Doesn't sound patronizing is when it involves parenting and kids, because it's always nice to know that someone thinks you're doing a good job. Because 9 times out of 10, as a parent, you're like, oh my god, I'm going to kill my child because I don't know what I'm doing because they don't come with them. No.
I made Maisie cry last night.
You what, Steve?
Can I ask about some? I know hardly anything about urostomies. Do you still have a stoma like an ileostomy? Is it still an opening the same as?
It looks exactly the same. It's just
Does it
mine
really?
is very. Yeah, I think quite a few of urostomies are, what I've seen across the group, the Facebook group, are actually retracted, and they're not as. I don't know why this is, because mine is retracted on one. It's flush one side and then goes up a tiny bit, but that's why I use the convex. But it looks exactly the same. It's just what they've done is they've taken a bit of bowel out from either the small intestine or large, but it depends on your anatomy, and they take the bit of bowel out and then they attach the ureters to this piece of bowel that then comes out of the skin, but the urine can't store in that bit of bowel. That's why it's just a conduit where the urine then comes out into
just like a spout, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's
right. I wondered how that worked, because I didn't really know. Obviously, the ureter, I didn't know how it would exit the tummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
never thought of that either.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of people don't really. I think that's why I've been tired and like passionate about it, because I think there's so much that needs to be educated, just amongst other osteomates in general. Like I didn't, when they first mentioned urostomy, I never heard of it, and I had an ileostomy for like, was it 3 years at the time, and I never heard of urostomy. So it's all sort of new stuff, really.
Yeah. Thanks
I mean, what I found fascinating this week was making ostomies cool in a poll how they got their stomas, and it didn't matter what stoma they had. How did you get your stoma? And it was obviously IBD and cancer, the two forms of IBD and cancer. Sorry, the main two, huge. Like obviously they were the big portions, and I spent ages making a huge pie chart that you'll see on the page.
Yeah, that went up to today, didn't it? That went up just before the show, I think at 7.
But like, care what type of stoma you had. It was a case of I just wanted to know why you had it, and there was so many different reasons. It was insane and eye-opening, actually. I mean, I know Rachel said she found other people had similar things to her, and it's just really interesting to know all the reasons.
It was, because I mean,
like, I've got to admit, it was Jo from Vlogostomy that for her, instead of doing the nationwide big exhibition, we're going to roll it out over social media. We've been talking about it a lot on Twitter, and that's one of the reasons I've just learned how to use Canva to make infographics and stuff, so I'm trying to work out how to put them in. I know.
You'll be asking me.
She'll be
I
texting
can't even
Ben.
log out. Can't even log out at the end.
She'll be texting Ben. He was going to be. Have you told Steffi about Canva yesterday? I went, Canva sounds. He's like, no, Canva's like, no.
In Hastings.
Oh my god, Steffi, I used Canva for my poster. That's how I put the poster together using Canva.
Yeah, all my blog titles now are done via Canva, and I've got a little Mexican like Day of the Dead skulls on them and stuff.
Cool, I
That's
like
so
it.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's good.
Steffi, what did you find so interesting with regards to the graph that you did do? Because obviously, I've gone over the stats once or twice with the graphs that you gave and what you collated the information from. And I was quite surprised, really, especially for the reasons that were put on there.
There was a lot of malpractice.
I saw
Like
that.
losing people. I mean, you were one of them, to be fair, Louise.
I was.
Surgery and like, there's a few people on Instagram that I know that I talked to, kids, because they'd gone in for a bladder repair and ended up with an ileostomy, and their womb was cut through, and all sorts of other things. And
wow.
But they do tend to notify you of the risks prior to the surgery. I know I could have, the second time round, I could have ended up with a urostomy as well as an ileostomy, and that could still be an option when I go back and have the subcolectomy done. When I have the total, when I have the whole lot ripped out because my urethra is stuck to scar tissue.
I know, obviously, this time around it wasn't an issue, but like the first time I had my weren't mentioned. Not that I think I'd have particularly cared at that point, but like I got told this time around I could have ended up having a hysterectomy, and I was like, I'm getting sterilised, I don't care. If that's the worst case scenario other than death, I don't care. But you know, that would be a massive thing to a lot of people.
Do you know what? That's really interesting. You said that, Steffi, with the hospital malpractice, because I did the poll amongst in the urinary urostomy awareness, and I said why people have urinary diversions, and cancer was 40%. Next was interstitial cystitis, IS, which 14%, and a birth defect 12%. But hospital malpractice was fourth, and like that shocked me as well. And the stories that people were saying about the hospital malpractice, of why they had ended up a urostomy, and a lot of it was the mesh repairs. You know, the mesh campaign that's been going around on Twitter. I think it was on TV. Yeah. Like this week, it's been on TV. Like I've got complications because of mesh, because of using for the prolapse. You know, I've had problems with mesh. So I think it was recently on the TV, and I found that was very interesting, and it just the different reasons. You know, there were so many different reasons that I felt less alone, because for ages I felt bad for being part of the IBD show, because my stomas aren't because of IBD. I have IBD now because I have the ileostomy, but I didn't have it before. And it was really nice for me, like when Steffi put it across, making ostomies cool, and I didn't realize you were going to do that, and it was nice because I felt less alone, and I could see, and that was good for me, because I think when it's not cancer and it's not IBD, we can feel a bit lost, and I think that's what urostomies feel like as well, because although we have stomas, we can feel not part of the sort of group, because do you know what I mean?
It's the other one and not this one.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
I think we can feel out of it sometimes, and it's nice to know that other people are in similar situations and other people. And I think what I've noticed, especially for double baggers, is it's not as clear cut. Like a lot of us have got other health medical issues on top, and like that was quite interesting.
Do you know something? There was something that I was doing when I did the fibroprint stuff. There was something about meshes that I did, because there's a lot of people that have had really big issues with mesh. That's biological mesh that's put in there, mesh infections, causing sepsis and irritation, scar tissue. I think something like the takedown for mesh is something like 70% failure rate.
Wow.
It's not a small.
What's it predominantly used for? I'm a bit lost here.
Mesh is predominantly used.
Okay.
For hernia repairs, bridging gaps.
So I will be
prolapse, womb prolapses or prolapses of the
Yeah.
bladder, any kind of prolapse. But with the mesh, like I keep going into hospital with recurrent sepsis. We still don't know if that is down to the mesh that's in my body, but they will not take it out because it's grown up. It's all
integrated into you.
Yeah, they won't remove it, but because I still don't know why I keep getting it. I think it's down to the kidney function of the kidney and the backflow from that, but it could be the mesh. So we're still, it's an unknown, but it was quite sad. I'm really glad the campaign's going out, and it's good that it's getting national press and coverage on TV, because can't remember the lady's name, but the one that does it, his story is quite hard to read, and it's quite amazing, and it's good that they've started it, and they've got medical backing as well, which is great.
Can I just point out that I shared it on the IBD Ostomy support show, as well as my own page, that on a radio show in America talking about urostomies and her campaign, her and the other urostomies campaign, and it's really good, and you should have a listen, because she's just, I don't know, I love listening to it. Yeah,
she's brilliant.
I'm gonna be embarrassed.
But
I don't like putting it across like the social things. But thank you, Steffi. I wasn't going to mention that, but thank you.
Saying that it's like the show stuff and everything else. It's like this all the time.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah.
You're going to be hiding behind the little stick figure of Natalie, aren't you?
Who, me?
No, Rachel. She's going to be hiding behind the
I was just going to get a really big water bottle and hide behind that and just have that up as my face.
Isn't that your face anyway? They might you drink.
Ooh.
I don't drink that much.
This idea came because you drank vodka.
Yeah, it did, because I drank vodka, and sometimes, believe it or not, I have just as many good ideas sober.
Sometimes,
as half cut.
Add a little bit of fruit juice to it.
Shake it all about.
Well, I won't be drinking, so I will be reminding you guys of what you get up to. I won't be drinking, so I'll be watching.
I haven't decided whether I'm drinking yet or not.
I don't.
It depends.
I'm definitely drinking. I am.
Are you, Steve?
Yeah,
I want to see
It depends.
Steve.
I've got to do the speech,
how much
haven't I?
Natalie.
Oh yeah.
I've been practicing this week.
Whether I drink or not is going to be down to how much Natalie and I get drunk the week before when we go to scenery, go to see a musical, and like she's going to get strawberry and lime wine, and there's where we're going to go for dinner. There's 2-for-1 cocktails. So
oh, lovely.
Depends on how wasted I am the week before.
Two for 1, isn't that 4 for 2? I like my logic. Oh dear lordy me. So I think we've had people on the chat telling us about because we keep overrunning. We've got a 3-minute warning. Oops.
If they don't want to watch it after if we overrun, they can turn off.
Yeah, but we do keep overrunning, don't we? I think the last two
we were like 10
we've
minutes.
overrun by about 10 minutes on each one. So we are next week, I believe, because somehow I sort of left myself in charge of it. However, I will say these ladies, don't knock them. They work so hard behind the scenes. It's unreal. All the graphs you see, the blog posts, the campaigning, the writing, the emails is done by all of these guys. Steve posts up in his groups. Steffi posts up in hers. Rachel does in hers. Natalie, even though she's been on holiday, she's still been scheduling posts and sending things out and doing things. These guys put in so much effort just to try and make the show and, you know, give the advice that's needed. It's unreal. They're fantastic. I love them.
We love you.
Yeah, that's because you feel sorry for me. No, Jackie.
Because we actually love you, Louise.
I
beat it up a bit there. I didn't hear that last bit.
There was me chuckling in the post office today, taking pictures and then remembering to put post-its over so people don't cop hold of your address on the show page or anything. Right, so next week we are covering stoma leaks. We are covering fistulas in or around and abscesses. So that would be pancreasum and other things, and abdominal fistulas around the stoma, because I know we've had a lot of people in the groups with fistulas around those stoma areas, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Ulcers, sore skin, abscesses. We're also talking about skin problems such as allergies, psoriasis, so people that are having problems with their bags sticking because of skin problems and what they've been working to do. So there will be one or two people such as Jess and Vicky that will be writing next week for the page because of what they've experienced trying to get their bags to stick, because I know Vicky's had hell and high water, hasn't she, with hers?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm glad you say that about psoriasis. So I was like a patient at one of the studies for, I think it was like medical students. I was in the abdominal room. There was me and another lady, and we had to literally sit there while a student nurse came in and examined you, but without actually taking your top. They were looking at your legs, your fingers, your nail. Have you seen that one? They put the nails together.
yeah.
And they're looking for the gap between. And one of the ones was psoriasis. They check you, and which would suggest that you have an inflammatory bowel disease. So I used to have it really bad on my legs. I did.
All right.
There's a lot of skin issues that are autoimmune based and related. So that's things like eczema, psoriasis. There's obviously skin allergies, dermatitis, being allergic to things like plasters. Jesus, I'm allergic to Tecoderm. You know, the stuff they stick after you after surgery.
Yeah.
Stick that on my tummy, and I have blisters everywhere, like 2nd-degree burn blisters that leave massive, great big blisters that pop, and then I get left with red raw skin underneath. So, but we will be covering all of that next week.
I won't be here next week, but I'll leave.
Rachel won't
I'll
be
be
here.
the week back.
But she is having a break. If I have to personally go to Wales over the weekend and make her turn her internet off, I will, because you need to do it.
I know I'm addicted. I tried today. I am addicted, but I will. I have to try, otherwise I'll burn out. So yeah, I'm having a break.
Your mum's watching, so she'll turn it off.
Yeah, she will. She's been on one. Yeah.
Mrs. Jury, can you please turn her phone off and make sure she stays away from it, and any Wi-Fi, internet contraption, anything, for at least the first 3 days.
Yeah, that's my goal.
That is your goal. Steffi will be back next week. Steve will be back next week. Nat will be Natalie will be back next week, and I will be. So next week we are covering stoma leaks, skin allergies. Oh God, something else. My brain's gone.
Fistulas,
skin abscesses, pancreasum, and everything else. And we'll be sticking. What we're starting to do now is I think we're sticking the polls and everything up on a Monday or Tuesday as well, just so it's not left so long and don't. Yeah, so that's what's been done. Well, anyway, we're going to say goodbye for this evening, and we'll see you all next week. Say bye, guys. Say bye, baby Jacob.
Bye.
Bye, Jacob.